Should be live. Let's see. Been a while. Yeah, Twitch is live. But YouTube. Yep, YouTube is live. Okay. Let me test the chats. Okay, they both work. Awesome. Awesome. Close Discord, hope my PC can handle it, because Overwatch performance has been awful lately. What up, Slow? Hello, Oblivion. I need to check RAM prices. I think that what I need the most is RAM. Could be wrong. Maybe I do need to upgrade like my CPU or GPU, because they're from like 2019, 2020. But I think that RAM is my biggest issue right now. Although, would my FPS drop because I don't have enough RAM? I don't think so. My RAM is like basically full right now, but
forever hold your peace.
I don't know. Maybe if I want stable 144 FPS, I just need to upgrade my PC. You can do whichever platform. I can see both. How have I been? Good, but it's been weird. Time has not made sense. Like, it feels like the start of the year was yesterday.
Excellent.
Been weird. Doing a lot of stuff and also not doing anything at the same time. Like, we were doing house renovations for a while, and now it's like apparently it has been finished for a while but doesn't feel like it. I don't know, it's weird. It's really weird.
Double kill. Triple kill.
One thing I did figure out is that why I have been struggling to make videos for a while, and what I have to do. I haven't done any videos yet after it, but I did figure out that what was causing me to not manage to make any videos was because I've basically scope creeped their quality so much that I cannot really put my mind to it, and even when I can, I don't do it enough where I finish a project. So let's say that I'm really excited about a concept. Let's just say it's attention, like one of my most viewed videos now. That video took basically an entire month of work. Not like 1 month of scripting and editing, but like tinkering with the idea and experimenting with stuff, and then thinking about how I would structure the video, etc. Remember the channel password. Yes. But like, I'll have a concept, I'll have a general idea, I'll write, but it takes a while. And then I still have to do so much. I still have to take footage. Like, there's so much work that goes into it, and the quality control is to such a level where I would just lose interest in the project or just forget about it in the meantime. Because here's a very common pipeline for me. I get interested in one concept. I start to work on the video for like a week. I've been pondering about this topic. I've been slowly writing the script or figuring out how I want to write the script. And then midway through the script, which is probably like more than 70% of the way through for me to like get the video done, because after the script is done, it's just editing, which I pay for. Right, I commission it. But then I'll have a different topic that I'll be interested on, and I'm like, oh, I wanna tackle that, and then I'll start a video for that. So I will start another script, and then I'll go for a week on that script, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I should finish that other video. Oh yeah, I can't really put my mind to it, and then I won't, and then I'll forget about its existence. If you want to know how bad it is, I actually have videos like named based on seasons. I have a video from like season 9 that I really wanted to make that I just have not made because I've just forgotten about its existence. Freaking season 9. Can you believe it? It's wild. So this video in particular, it's about like a lot of it about like the flow state and just like achieving performance, setting goals during matches. Right, so like if you're struggling in a duel versus a player because they're much better than you, rather than keep forcing the duel, just like find something else in the match that is appropriate to your challenge level. So maybe you duel someone else, whatever it may be, right? Like essentially that kind of stuff, you know. Basically, like inspired by countering, because like the thing about Overwatch that makes it very difficult for you to stay in the zone without like really smart goal setting by the player is that not only is the skill of the team variable, both your team and the enemy team, but the map cannot be accounted for by the matchmaker, the characters cannot be accounted for by the matchmaker, so there's also inherent variance in that. You could have, in theory, a matchup like, let's say, a 50-50 matchup where you have a Genji on one team and a Pharah on another, and they're both the same rank, both the same skill, whatever. But if you roll a terrible Pharah map, the Genji just wins. If you roll a terrible Genji map, the Pharah just wins, right? Even though it's theoretically perfectly balanced, because the matchmaker can't account for those. And because people swap mid-game, there's also like this whole thing about like what's the skill of the player in the swapped character and how good is the character into your character. So basically what I'm trying to say is that the skill level is constantly changing, right? Or the challenge level rather, but your skill level is gonna be similar. So you can imagine how an ever-shifting challenge can really throw you off for a loop when you're trying to just focus and just achieve performance, right? Because there's like ideally you want the challenge to push you, but not too much, right? If it's too little challenge, you'll be bored. If it's too much, you'll be anxious, right? So in that case, what you want to do, right, and that's basically the whole thing about the video, is just like you want to look to like always find the challenge within the match that matches your skill level and pushes it the exact perfect amount, right? Basically taking control back of over all of these variables. So if one player is trying really hard to counter you and it's making it unenjoyable because it's either too easy or too hard, you find something else to do, right? You just constantly chase that perfect level of difficulty that will stimulate your brain just the right way to just like get you into the flow state essentially. And I mentioned the flow states not like you're gonna hit it every time that you play, but rather because chasing the flow state is the same thing as chasing performance. It's just the flow state is just when you hit the random jackpots of like, oh, your brain is just like perfectly stimulated this time. Like maybe just ate better food or have a little bit better sleep or something, and now you got enough matches or enough time within the perfect difficulty level that your brain just like enter the overclock mode or whatever, right? Like, but anyways, that's a whole video that I'm very interested on, and I haven't looked at it in months because I forgot about its existence, right? And that's a very common thing in the channel. Right now, basically then, what I'm planning to do is I want to make videos faster, basically drop their quality, just make them. I don't know if that's gonna be coming in the form of me using my coaching channel to just talk about topics in the practice range or whatever, kind of like I'm doing in the live stream here. Not worried about a specific structure, not worried about how much time it's gonna take. Just so that I can finish it while I have interest in the topic, right? Even if it takes tanks the quality, because it's better to get something out than to not get anything out. Because I heard that this is very common to happen, and like with like content creators where the quality of their videos is gonna get so high that they get burned out of making videos on their main channel, so they just start making videos from scratch essentially on another channel, which is lower quality, and then slowly the alternate channel becomes the main channel because you start having fun making videos again, and you can actually make videos again. So I'm trying to figure it out because I still want to obviously post on my main channel. It would be a waste not to. But I need to figure out how I'm gonna balance the length of the video in terms of like how long it takes for me to make a video, right? A project, versus just getting stuff out. Yeah. That's basically where my head has been at. I've also been updating my Patreon and workshops because I was not really enjoying the workshops as a paid system, so I'm just gonna be doing them for free. I meant that to announce that like a month or two ago, but I have not got into it. But I'm just gonna turn Patreon into just like pure support. Like, I've never really liked having to market paid stuff, never been good at it. So I would just be like, yeah, you know what, you wanna support me? Boom, you can do so, no benefits, that's it. Unless, of course, you want a coaching session, right? If you want a coaching session. But that's the only thing that I will keep paid. But yeah, I need to properly make a video on that. I'm currently thinking about just kind of returning on the main channel with gameplay, because the gameplay stuff tends to be smaller in scope, because it's just like I go over one replay code, so the length of the video is variable, but I don't have to think so much about a structure because it kind of follows the structure of the video. I just kind of have to talk through my thought process in a moment. Maybe I'll have like a small guide at the start or in the middle when I need to explain a concept deeper. But overall, these videos are more straightforward to make, so I'm probably just gonna come back by making these instead. But yeah, in terms of the big guides, I really enjoy them. They do really well on YouTube. But I do need to figure out how I'm gonna actually work on them and not burn myself out of making videos. Basically, that's what I need to do. Because I have a lot of cool stuff. I don't remember everything off the top of my head, but I have a lot of really cool stuff. Some related to mentality, some related to gameplay. I have a video that I want to make on Kovacs and its meditative qualities in a way, etc. Yeah, let me actually catch up to chat a bit. There were some messages that I didn't really check. Overwatch has been having performance issues for a while now. And advice on how to aim right clicks. Oh yeah, one of the things that I want to do is more gameplay, yes. And especially I wanted to just like stream and then get some of the stream games with like some slight narration on my gameplay channel, because I think those are more they're more interesting than just uploading a raw VOD of like a good game in it. Although I still want to do that. I want to have like a big library of VODs of me playing well on all maps so people can study if they're dedicated, right? Less so for the views as it is just like building a resource for Genji players to learn from, which I need to get back into. But right now with like the whole performance issues, I don't even know if I'm gonna manage to play a game while I'm streaming, because I don't know. I was struggling to get good FPS even when Overwatch is the only thing open in my PC, right? But yeah, in terms of like aiming, just stay calm. Trying to be fast is not gonna work most of the time. Take your time, aim. I might open Kovacs for a bit. Not just because I've been playing a lot of Kovacs lately. A friend from the team that I'm currently playing on Faceit got me back into it and I've been really enjoying it. But I don't remember where my thought process was going, but like a big thing in Kovacs is just like staying calm, right? So like you can just like, oh, fast Genji, yes, but like what is the point of being fast if you miss the flick, right? I would rather just take a little bit and then hit the shot than just like shoot at max speed, you know? But the other thing is honestly just aim training. Like I cannot overstate how useful aim training is. And I mean like proper forms of aim training, like feeling called out. Everyone has been a victim of this. It's like deeply rooted in the Genji community, yeah. But I don't mean like going into Voxta, because Voxta is not good enough as a name training mode, even if you're very disciplined about what you do. What I mean is like, the reason why Kovacs is so good, right? Maybe you can do some stuff on Aim Labs, although I'm pretty sure Aim Labs has less support overall and isn't as good. Kovacs is fairly cheap. Is that on Kovacs you can isolate scenarios, you can do very specific practice. So for example, you could do like, let me get an example. Let's say that you're doing this type of practice, except the bot is going back and forth, right? So tracking practice on a horizontal plane with customizable bot speed. Depending on how thin the bot is, you're gonna be stressing your control more or less. Depending on the sensitivity that you use, you could practice your stability for your wrists, for your fingers, for your arm, etc. It's basically you're just trying, just like in a gym, you're basically just trying to isolate very specific areas to work on them, right? There is use for like the compound stuff where you just go into a match and you do everything together, right? And still, this would fall more under the character micro than like the specific motions, right? So like, say, go in the practice range and just practice dashing at people's feet and flicking above, right? That's useful practice that you were not gonna do in Kovacs. But the aim fundamentals, like being able to move my crosshair efficiently between targets, being able to track, having the right technique for it, all that type of stuff is incredibly important. And it's crazy how quickly you can improve if you put time into it. I have less than 150 hours in Kovacs, and the amount of progress I've made in Overwatch is fairly crazy. To be fair, I've heard from people that I have been progressing Kovacs very fast. Like for those that know it, I was doing some of the season 5 Voltaic scenarios. I'm currently diamond pushing Jade, which is very good for my time spent on it, but yeah, I think it's more so just to show like how much if you have the right mindset, you train properly, right? So you're using your hours well, you get insane results, right? So if you wanna practice mechanics rather than just playing hundreds of hours of game and barely seeing improvement, you just put 5 hours into Kovacs. Practice whatever was lacking, be it your flicks or what, really drill in the technique, and then you're gonna see crazy results. What do you mean do you need Kovacs and Airs, by the way? You mean that, like, do I want tips for what to play? Is that what you meant? Rules never map. I thought about it. I think that the video that I thought about, like, map specific rollouts was gonna be more so like showing some climbing spot that people don't know exist. Like if you think about Gibraltar second points, I can probably go into it. I mean, I guess the map got reworked, so maybe I go Hollywood. Where is Hollywood? Hollywood is hybrids? Yeah, Hollywood is hybrid. Oops. I need none and then Hollywood. Yeah. So like there are certain climbing spots that people don't know exist. They're incredibly useful. That's what I thought about maybe going over in a video. Because map guides, I've done some in the past. I gave that up because I think it's much more useful to just teach the people positioning fundamentals. Right? But yeah. I am not playing NA Ben Max. I'm playing EU now. EU just has better time for me. NA is almost on midnight. I do come fairly loud, so people in my house would complain about noise when they want to sleep, so I am playing EU this season. Our team just barely failed to make the fast track to expert, which honestly is kind of crazy. The fast track is incredibly difficult. This is a very, very strong team. And we were in roster hell for a while, also in scrim hell because of it, so we were barely practiced with, like, there are some members that played a lot of the matches that had like 3 scrims under their belt, and we still almost made it to the expert division immediately. And also we had like insane luck, like, or lack thereof. We had like some of the toughest matches. 2 of the teams that we fought gave up, so we had worst tiebreaker because of it. We fought a team of master divisions and expert division Smurfs that were assumedly trying to boost some people. I don't know why, like if they're friends, if they're paying or what. And we almost beat them, so we almost beat the #1 team there. Like, it's crazy. But anyways, we're playing advanced this season to earn an expert spot that way, because it's much easier. And then from there, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything else in chat now. No, I use if you search on Reddit, what's the name again? Dropship. Dropship server selector is the third-party application that I use to like select the Overwatch servers. So right now I'm in Netherlands. This is the best European server for me to play on. But yeah, in terms of like spots, you can climb this like this. Oops, I got caught. Not easy, because if you climb for too long, you lose your momentum and then you hit your head. So you need to release early and use your upward momentum to like kind of do this curve right here, and then you double jump up top, right? It is a fairly useful spot because you don't necessarily have to run all the way here, right? And this also works this way too. So you can get to this high ground sneakily without someone on the high ground noticing, right? So this type of stuff is what I was thinking about making for a video, because this is the type of knowledge that is useful for people that are less familiar with Genji's movement and how they can access various high grounds and stuff. But yes, I don't think I have Kovacs set up. I can look to set it up later and maybe show some of the stuff I was doing, but yeah. How do I feel about the new heroes? I have a whole video that I wanted to make on Anon that I still haven't finished. Funnily enough, I was playing with one of my teammates in EU, and I had Genji stolen, in a high ranked match. So the enemy team had advocates. There were three Genji players. I was not allowed to play Genji. I played Anran. We won. I'm gonna be using part of that, I think, for footage. I have a lot of Anran stuff saved for that. Basically just like theory crafting on the kit and how to play, giving some suggestions to the devs on how they can properly get Anran to flow like the character should flow. But yeah. The lobby also had Poco, but I heard that Poco is not that good anymore. Especially when Diva is banned. Actually, I have the VOD here. I can actually access it. Where is it? It's Speranza. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, it should be this one. But yeah, Anran is undercooked, has a lot of potential. Basically, Anran is almost Tracer with Genji mechanics. Oh, I'm losing a lot of frames. Oh, that's fun. Yay! Good job. I have literally the best internet that I could have and I'm still having issues. That's fun. Ignore my first staff. Yeah. But yeah, like, Anran is fun. Anran feels very familiar to me because of Genji mechanics. She is different than Genji because her mobility is less bursty. She overall has much less burst. Like, she wants to fight like a Tracer, but the mechanics are Genji, which is why I made the comparison. She's just not quite at the state where she functions as a character like that. Maybe in ranked, I don't really think she functioned in pro play. It could be because of my lack of playtime. But my current theory on Anran, which is largely just poke early, find a moment to sneak into a backline mid-fight and just basically be an attention merchant, or rather like an attention dodging merchant, where the moment people look at you, you get out. Doesn't really work on an environment where people are hyper aware and call. But yeah, I think that Anran needs more fluidity in the cooldowns. I don't know how. I don't know if it is dashes are faster if you cancel them early, or the cooldown, or the dash is faster, or the dashes just have a lower cooldown but they deal less damage. I feel like going on the path of less cooldown damage and more overall cooldown usage, or faster cooldown usage on Anran is probably really good. Because if you put too much damage on Anran's kits, the problem is that suddenly she's kind of like Vendetta, where you just press buttons and people die. So basically the character just gets dumbed down to a shell of what it could be, right? So rather than that, my suggestion when I make the video is gonna be to just like allow her to flow, allow her to more easily do the plays that she's supposed to do, like dancing on the enemy team, applying the fire stacks and whatnot. Just doing so with less damage, because like if you can just dump every single cooldown to someone, it's 150 guaranteed plus the burn, and a single right click already increases that damage to 60 without the extra burn perk over time, plus the damage of the one right click that you shoot, which is, I believe, is also another 60. So you can see how guaranteed damage from cooldowns that don't require much aim, if any at all, is problematic, right? Which is why I want them to lean away from it and actually allow Anran to flow properly. But yeah. Yeah, this VOD was interesting. Alvi was doing questionable stuff this match. He's obviously really good mechanically, but I was watching his POV and you cannot convince me that this is a good play ever. The rollout itself, sure, it's not well timed, the team is not there, whatever, right? You can make the rollout and dash out. It is a little bit questionable because we have Winston, and so if you engage early as Genji and the Winston has mobility to chase, then you're suddenly costing your supports a crazy amount of resources to keep you up for very little. I've talked about how to play Genji into dive, and a lot of it is just you have to play in positions that force them to use mobility first into you, but committing the dash afterwards is just insane. That is just insane. He did get a lot of one-shots in this match, and to be fair, their team kind of got destroyed because Evo was banned this match, so Poco struggled a lot. But yeah, very volatile player. That is what Alvicat is. Probably for content. And he is really good, to be fair. I don't think also he cares all that much about wins and losses anymore. Like, he has already proved that he is incredibly good at the game and goes toe-to-toe with like the very best. So I think that I'm not gonna judge him too hard on it. I'm just doing so for the sake of educational stuff, right? Should a nightmare to try and 1v1? Yes. Anran has like an edge against the Genji 1v1, mainly because her hitbox is so unbelievably thin. Like, Anran is a character that if you look at in a sorry, if you have to do this on Anran, this is very weak. It seems like a lot of damage against these bots, but these bots don't shoot back. Against people that are shooting you on entry and then are using the time where you can't move after the E, which I believe is 0.2 seconds. If you're playing against a Cassidy, you get guaranteed a headshot outside of this. And then also an exit, and then your damage still takes a while, so supports can just heal. Your damage sucks. Anran has a good matchup into Genji because he struggles to actually poke her during the entry and exit and everything, right? Especially the interaction with the deflect. But deflect works on the E, by the way. Where is it? Melee. Right there, the keyword melee. So that means that Genji can parry her E. You can also just parry the primary once she's trying to rack up burn. Racking up burn with this is really slow. As long as you force Anran to use at least one dash to just close the gap, she can't really chase you. You will just beat her if she uses double dash to chase you, damage-wise. So it really is just about maintaining your distance. Anran is somehow worse than Genji at poking, and by a large margin. The only really stuff that you're gonna be able to do with poking on Anran is either an angle that's uncontested, that's like really good and your opponents are strafing into your shots, or you're just gonna shoot the tank a bunch.
Now I'm really fired up. Set ablaze.
Are you the guy I coached earlier, CV? Seabass? If I remember correctly. But yeah, Anran is a character I have a lot of thoughts on because I spent a lot of early time this season thinking with her. I have also seen players really struggle with her. Like, I'm not really gonna dive into custom games like scrims because I don't want to leak stuff, but like, so many Anrans only understand the character as you dash in, you press E, you dash out, and they feed their brains out. And I'm talking high rank players, I'm talking people in Faceit. Basically nobody understands the character. I wouldn't be surprised if I was one of the few that actually gave her enough of an attempt to understand the nuances and how you can actually play the character. It's actually crazy how much she sucks. Is this the match that I'm thinking about? Maybe it is.
Ready for battle.
No, it isn't. Suravasa. I'm looking for a Suravasa VOD. Or I think it's this one. But yeah, maybe I'll make something with that. I need to make sure that it's fast. Oh yeah, VTEX just stole Genji from me this lobby, which is fun. But I can play Anran,
I still have a ways to go.
which is fine. As long as I can play Anran in ranked, I'm happy. Like before, I struggled to actually swap because I didn't enjoy any other flex DPS even if I could play them. Given like 10-20 hours of practice, I could not even put 2 hours in because I would get bored of them. But I don't mind, so at least I have something else that I can play depending on the situation now. It is rare to get Genji solo nowadays. Genji doesn't even get banned anymore. There are too many characters that people want to ban, like Diva and Vendetta, right? There are also not very many Genji players. Like if I look at my friends list, friends, damage, rank, you're gonna see VTech series, GM5 on Genji, and then Elemental guy is GM5. Elemental guy used to be like consistently like a few ranks above me, but now he's just like only a single one above me here. So like a lot of people are struggling, and then you look at a lot of the other people, like Hiko right now is GM4, Max tends to be the same rank as me, GM4, right? There's also another Hiko account, I believe. My ult isn't Pislow because I did too much trolling with Amran and friends. I have to work on getting it back up. But like, where is it? Yeah, I think Bunch is also another Hiko account that's here. So like, I've seen like Hiko struggle a lot. Like, there are a lot of Genji players that have been really struggling now. So not many people play Genji, and a lot of people have not had a good time playing Genji. Which is understandable, honestly. He's not in a very good spot, and I have yet to make another thing, right? I've yet to make the video suggesting how to properly balance Genji. But yeah. Let me see, did I miss something in chat? Did more consistent value for less risk? Kind of. If you're looking at like Reddit, especially like Genji mains Reddit, just ignore the people debating there are basically almost always wrong. Like there are people that are trying to convince me that like Anran is a better character than Genji when she just isn't. You can look at the win rates. I haven't checked to see if like her win rate is actually below Genji on low ranks. But like she has been struggling in high ranks, and there are people that think that she's just better than Genji in high ranks. She isn't. Anran is unbelievably garbage. Unbelievably garbage. It's insane. Have to be taken with a grain of salt because most Anran players don't know how to play the character. They think Anran is Genji and she's not. But yeah. Water? Yes, I have been drinking water. Where is that? But yeah, there are a lot of misunderstanding of how to play and the power level of characters. Domino was certainly overtuned. I don't know how much she is right now. Mizuki is a stat monster for rank, but even then I don't think it's too crazy. It's at a point where the devs are even buffing him, which I feel like is a little bit weird, but sure, I guess. Don't think he's the most offensive character ever to have be good. And there's not a spot where just buffing a broken character or anything like that. Emery is interesting, I guess, kind of. He has some Malga moments where he uses the major perk to just life steal on tanks infinitely, which is weird, but overall, like, he is fairly inoffensive as a character. It's like, overall, like, the new heroes have been like a breath of fresh air. There have been some concerns, but the devs have been handling them overall fairly good. Honestly, I'm more concerned about how the devs have been handling Vendetta and Diva especially, because these are incredibly obnoxious characters that have not been tuned down properly for months. There's that. Yes, of course. Win rates are a direct reflection of how the community as a whole is doing on any given rank or on all ranks. So yes, win rates are an incredible tool for seeing if a hero is performing well or not, right? Now, you will have situations where Kiriko had a negative win rate on high ranks and is still just perma-pick and pro, sure. So there is some interpretation to be done. But it still does say that like you would rather have Mercy in GM than Kiriko. It's not because Mercy is a better character, it's because the players in GM know how to play Mercy better than Kiriko. So that's an important nuance there, right? You should not just use the win rates to say, oh, Kiriko sucks because she has a negative win rate in GM. No, you should say that the GM players don't understand her in that case. Because she is absolutely broken. Or at least she is broken in the hands of pros, right? Which is why they perma pick. Genji, I believe, has a positive win rate in every single rank except GM champ. Which is not a bad place to be in. One of my main concerns with Genji is not so much his specific balance state, but rather the hypocrisy, I guess, of like the devs nerfing Genji for ease of use and not nerfing Venture, who has been matching, if not having better win rates than Genji on all the months that he was good previously, while being more obnoxious and less skillful. Like, that's my kind of issue. Not so much Genji himself, because Genji has been in a very respectable spot for a long time. Like, unless you're on a very small percentage of the player base, just like GM champ, you don't really have anything to complain about for Genji, you know? A few reasons, like data and a lot of other flex DPS being stronger than Genji. The fact that like all of the nerfs have compounded. A lot of matchups with like which heroes are strong, like Illaria for example, I think is rather rough for Genji. What else? Blade also has like disproportionate value across the ranks. It's a much better ultimate the lower you go. Deflect and the double jump and stuff also work that way. They don't go all the way up to master, but like, which is kind of what I'm trying to figure out, like why does he keep overall the same like 51-52% win rate across bronze to master, and it drops so sharply in GM specifically, but you know. But yes, there are reasons for why Genji, and this is why I wanted to title the video discussing him the following, which is Genji is not a high skill character. It's a rather clickbaity title, but I think it's a fairly interesting one and sparkles a lot of discussion because Genji has been better the lower you go. Which is weird because the character, everyone tries to convince you that Genji is high skill, but apparently he just performs better the lower the skill, which is weird, right? So there's a whole discussion to be had there. Is it true that Genji is high skill? Is he secretly a low skill character? Like, what's going on? Is it just meta stuff that's causing this weird graph? Whatever, you know? But yeah, I've been playing Genji and having my results. It's nothing crazy, and I would expect actual Genji players that are dedicated to still work through the problem and manage a positive win rate. But yeah, it hasn't been easy, I'll tell you that much. What win rate is my main currently sitting at? 53. Not too bad. But yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to check how many people are here. I put a terrible title. I wanted to just have like actual core viewers of the channel for this stream, so yeah, I didn't expect all that many. So, peaking at 15 is not bad. That's just considering YouTube. I don't know how many have been on Twitch. Not bad. But yeah, for those that want to pick up Anran, here's the main suggestion that I have. Pick the correct perks. These are the two correct ones. Happy to see me play ranks. I will probably test playing quick play. I don't know if my FPS will tank or not when I'm streaming, so I'm being careful about that. But yeah, the longer burn is fairly inconsequential. Hit shield actually allows you to engage with ult, which is very important because the self-res is usually not very good. I would need to do more testing on like just using short fuse, which I'll talk about in a second, to just like go for so subtle engagements with incredible value and then ulting to revive and then getting out value that way and maybe picking the other perk. But I think that the other perk is just too weak. Very little. So yeah, hit shield, very good perk. The major perk is the main one that people have been getting wrong. It makes 0 sense to pick the other one. Because here's the big thing with Onrun, okay? Your E sucks. You press E and you die. Because you just stun yourself. You cannot move for 0.2 seconds after the exit, which is telegraphed to the enemy team. They line up shots, boom, you're dead. Imagine a character like Tracer just suddenly having to stop after a blink or after recall, just being stunned there, right? Onrun E is basically if recall telegraphed where she was gonna teleport back to, and just stop her in time for a bit there. It would be awful. That's E. Why would you pick a perk that wants you to use that E to get value? I want to press E on Onrun as little as possible because the cooldown sucks so bad it's better to not use it than to use it. And the E is supposed to be a dodge and you're not supposed to handle attention. You're not supposed to really take much damage on Onrun. So basically everything about healing on your E goes against what you actually want to do on the character. And on the other hand, you have short fuse, which just gives you more dashes, which is what you want to do. You want to be dashing through people, making yourself hard to hit during your actual engagements. And I'm just going to show you really quick how much this perk does. I find it insane that everyone is saying that the other perk is a must pick, when short fuse is literally broken. Literally broken. Okay. So my Maug is gonna go in here. Okay, big slam. Sacrifices himself for a cage and forces all enemy cooldowns. Okay, look at my damage. 13k and 400, right? Look at what I'm gonna do now. Look at my damage. I'm gonna rewind 10 seconds. And that's too much. I'm not even in yet. This engagement lasted less than 10 seconds. And I dealt 900 damage. But maybe we would rather take damage on the character that doesn't handle attention well and press E to self-stun for a little bit of healing on damage that we should not have taken in the first place. I'm telling you, people will love to argue with you about like what the pros pick or what's like the community perception on what you should do. I will never shy away from picking the controversial thing and advocating for it if I believe it is right. And I don't think it, like, sure, this is only one clip, but this perk in general just allows your kit to flow so much better that it almost feels like you are playing half a character before you have this major. So yeah, I've discussed people at length about Genji perks. I'll probably discuss people on Onrun's major for a long time. But it is what it is. I have a good track record on these things. And here's another thing. I don't just play Overwatch, right? And also Overwatch sure has strategy, but a lot of it is also mechanics. I've been a strategy game player for over a decade. Heck, some of the stuff that I like the most has been strategy games. I play Slay the Spire. Been farming Slay the Spire too. Slay the Spire, really complex game, purely about how good your decisions are. There's no mechanical skill in it. It's literally just pure decision making, evaluating different options, think perks, and you want to know what my win rate currently is? I think it is 46-0. I have not lost a single Slay the Spire 2 run. I have almost completed the entire Ascension climb on every single character, 2 of which have been new, with very limited spoilers from looking at other players. Some of the top players in the game, to be fair, they were streaming, they weren't fully tryharding, but some of the best players in the game have like 80% win rates. I currently have an 100% win rate on the game. I am trying to finish the Ascension climb there to get 100% and get 100% there for a guide on the game. Part of like my plan in the future is to make a lot of Slay the Spire content too, because it's easy content. Literally just I play a run and I upload the run as I comment it. It's much simpler than making the guides for Overwatch. And since I have spent so much time getting good at the game and have such a history with like strategy games and this type of decision making in general, I have like a perfect skill set to just start a channel and have it pop off on Slay the Spire 2. And Slay the Spire 2 is a very famous game. Like it's like top 3 or top 4 right now on most played games on Steam, with like 500,000 players like every day at a time. Like that's the 24-hour peaks. Sure, it doesn't compare to Overwatch directly, because Overwatch is not just on Steam. But here's the thing. Slay the Spire 2 is early access. And I still find it, even if Overwatch isn't more than just Steam, for Slay the Spire 2 to crush Overwatch Steam numbers that much as a mostly single player game is crazy. Should we get Slay the Spire 2? Yes. Probably one of the best game purchases ever. Like, I would rank Slay the Spire on my top 5 games of all time. And that's the first one. Slay the Spire 2 is on track to be an infinitely better game, which is insane. Utterly crazy. To think that a game in early access is basically surpassing the numbers of like fully released games like Hades 2 and Silksong on Steam. Get that through your minds. Slay the Spire 2 is competing with fully released indie titans like Hades 2 and Silksong. You know? Isn't that kind of crazy? So yeah. People are free to pick whatever they want, sure. But I find it incredibly silly to try to argue with me that some of these perks that are so incredibly awful at first sight are just better. Like, you can argue to me that you have more fun with blade twisting because of the fun noises that it makes. It makes you feel dopamine that you're dealing extra damage on your dash, but the perk is dog shit. Just unadulterated trash. Do not try to tell me that it is better than meditation. Not in a million years. Can have more fun with it, sure. It's your pick, but don't argue with me that it is better, okay? But yeah. A lot of people play Slay the Spire 2. It's less so that there is a big crossover and more so that a ton of people play Overwatch, a ton of people play Slay the Spire, right? Just the wrong situation. I disagree. Blade twisting is so unbelievably awful that it fails to do its one job better than meditation does that job accidentally. So there, at that point, there isn't even a debate. You can stop thinking about it 5 seconds into the thought process. That's how bad the difference between blade twisting and meditation are. The only perk that I think is The only perk debate on Genji that I think is interesting is Swift Cuts versus Dragon's Thirst, but I figured out why I was having issues comparing the two in the past. And it was because I was conflicted on Swift Cuts being strong but me not wanting to pick it, and then I realized that the reason I want to pick it is not because it's like a fraudulent perk, it's that Dragon's Thirst is just literally a Thanos perk. If you had like Swift Cuts on Major or Dragon's Thirst on Major, you would pick Swift Cuts and Dragon's Thirst every single time. Those two perks are by far Genji's best, then Meditation, then Blade Twisting. So the fact that you're competing makes it unfortunate. You're losing a lot of potential power because of it. But yeah, Dragon's Thirst is so much better than Swift Cuts that you just pick it. It is fundamentally bad. It is fundamentally bad. It's also, in terms of design, fundamentally flawed. So it is just terrible in so many levels that I wish the devs would just scrap the idea and just go with something more interesting, more enjoyable, and better. Cause come on, you're talking to me that you're gonna give Genji conditional extra 25 damage that's basically always redundant, compared to other characters getting nukes for majors. Why does Cassidy gain a scope on major perk
Major perk
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
that deals 70 extra damage? 70.
You tangled with the wrong man.
Unconditional. They don't have to be low for that extra damage. You can roll to get another shot. Genji gets 25 extra damage, sometimes on when people are already low enough that the damage probably doesn't make a difference. So some of the perk justice, right? Some of the perk balancing is not there. But yeah. Oh yeah, there was something I wanted to show. Highlights. Guys. Just Q, I don't know if I'm playing today, Max, and if you're gonna be like this, I'm just gonna ban you. It's my stream, I do what I want, I wanna chat right now. I'm not streaming necessarily to play. Tell me this character is okay. I have... Let's check. Oops, sorry, I meant check. Career profile, all competitive seasons. How many hours do you guys think I have on Nilari? I want some guesses. How many hours do you guys think I have on Nilari? After watching that play of the game. 2? Anyone else? You do kind of get to know that it's less than 20 because it's not showing here already. But yeah, all competitive seasons. It's more than just minutes apparently, but it's 2 hours. I have 2 hours on this character. 2 hours. I think that I've been planning to get a Champo Rose this season. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna play Ilaria rather than Ana, which is the character that I actually enjoy, because this character is just disgusting. This character is just disgusting. I have no practice on this character, but the macro is so simple, and there is basically no micro to learn. It's just point and click. You just need to learn the cadence of the shots pretty much, and that's about it. There isn't much to learn on this character. Just aim fundamentals. And I've been working on my aim fundamentals a lot. I've been playing Kovacs a lot. Look at the distance. This is a support, by the way. Guys, Guys, this is a support. This echo is coming out of spawn, and almost like if I hit one headshot at this one headshot instead of the body shot at the start, at this distance, I killed this echo. What? Huh? Like hello?
Not bad. My barrier.
Adaptive circuits engage.
But yeah,
It was made
it's
for
crazy
this.
because it was so nice that I realized this, because it just makes my support climb so much easier. Because Ana is just like you're juggling all of this crazy stuff, like your cooldowns, which are incredibly long cooldowns. You don't have any mobility. You have very little self-sustain. You do have strong resources, right? Like the cooldown and especially the ult. But Illari has arguably a better ult because you take agency, at least like in a ranked environment, where you can just ult and kill 5 if you're good enough. You can't really do that on Ana. You have more freedom on the terms of angles. You don't need as much support from your team. You have more mobility. Your healing is higher and easier. Like you barely have to think. You can just aim and shoot. So it's for good players, Illari is such an incredibly good character for ranked. You have insane carry potential with like basically mainly just mechanical requirements. Glass mousepad? I love glass. I love glass mousepads. I would highly recommend. They are expensive, but the lack of maintenance, or at least the lowered maintenance, because like you still need to wash your sleeves, you still need to clean the mousepad every now and then, right? But because it's consistent, right? Like you're not like, oh, you're sweating, so now the mousepad is lower because it's absorbing the sweat. You know? It's perfectly consistent at all times. And also it's just really fun. Really, really fun. But yeah.
Face the sunrise.
This character is not real. But yeah. I wanted to quickly show this. This is why I wanted to replay. That flick was bad. Part of my issue with Illari and not getting into role lobbies as hard is that I don't yet have enough comfort on the character in terms of like how long I'm gonna live, because just like Kiriko, you are incredibly hard to hit. Your hitbox is non-existent. I should abuse that. I need to learn how much survivability I have in Illari. I'm so used to being a massive character, Genji, so I just take a bunch of damage. So when I face this duo, I'm like, oh, I should be scared of this. Kiriko could very easily win, right? Hard to hit, and my hitbox is big, but wait, I have a really good gun too. A gun that fares much better against Kiriko than Genji's gun. I have a much better hitbox against it, and I have self-sustain. So yeah, need to get used to this.
Stay near my pylon.
I don't know why my crosshair was so low. That was bad. I was gonna talk about like my aim micro being very good, but I still have a long ways to go. But like this shot, for example, is really nice. This next shot, because rather than just trying to aim at this very thin hitbox that's strafing back and forth, she has nowhere to go to the right side anymore. She's at a wall. Unless she has nerves of steel and doesn't move and uses that to juke my aim because I expect her to move, I can literally just place my crosshair to her left and wait for her to walk into it. And that's what I do. I just wait and boom, headshots, right?
Working on your injuries.
Yeah.
Keep
Illari kind of strong. Kind of very strong. Also, rank resets suck. Spylo did make a video on that, but yeah, rank resets suck. I've been having some bad luck on my tank matches and support matches. My tank, after the placements are over, and then I quickly dropped down a division or two because I still had calibration. so your rank drops faster. And on support, it was even worse because I just had incredibly bad luck on the placement, so I just placed really low. So I just have to play extra games to get the champ. It's unfortunate that I have to climb so many divisions, but it's not like I haven't done that before. What was the season? Wait, what? Oh, there you go. Like this season, I climbed like 25 ranks, I think, or sorry, 25 tiers, I think, to get this whole thing in a single season. So I can do it. Yeah. It will still be a lot of effort. The good thing is that to me the hardest role is already so close to champ. And I'm surprised that I'm already back to GM1. Playing Genji this season after a rank reset, which usually makes things really cooked for climbing for a bit. Because it's hard. Like getting champ on the first or like matching your previous rank this season that there is a reset is incredibly difficult. It's not something you should take for granted. It's not something that you should feel bad for if you don't manage it. On the opposite, if you do manage it, you should be like really proud of yourself. Because you're essentially playing the same difficulty of games, but on a lower rank. So you have to basically win the games that you were previously supposed to be 50-50 on to climb back to the rank that you should be on, right? Which is essentially just saying that like if I climb back to champ 5 this season, I would probably be champ 4 or 3 or 2 previous season if there wasn't a rank reset, right? I don't know how much it would be. I don't really care how much it is. I just know that from observing the system and from everything that we know from the system that that's kind of how it goes, right? Because there are still a ton of champ players stuck in Masters and GM that you're going to be fighting, you know? I've been pushing myself too hard. I've coached a few hours earlier. I've been talking with a lot of intensity in my voice, so I'm really feeling the effects now. Really should stop talking as much. Let's see. How many people are here anyway? How do I feel about Genji this season? I've talked about this a little bit earlier. I will give it TLDR, which is that he is good at basically every rank, which is a fine state for Genji to be in. It's just a shame that he's the way that he is currently in GM/champ, and to a certain extent pro play. There is some stuff that needs to be addressed, but it's less so directly. Like I want characters like Kiriko and Illari to have real hitboxes. Anrun is also a victim of this. Why does every new character release have a non-existent hitbox? I find it surprising that the cat is easier to hit. You would expect cat to be harder to hit. I feel like I'm more confident dueling cat than I am dueling Kiriko. It's insane. There is no hitbox here. Maybe I just need to use the tech of like aiming at toes because the hitbox is larger there, but I don't know. Just annoying. Deflect nerf needs to be reverted. I'm fine with the right click, or not right click, the projectile size having been reduced. It was too big before. I just want the same treatment to also be done for like Venture. I want Vendetta to be further nerfed. This character nobody enjoys. Please just delete her from the game. Nobody will miss her. Like it's more so like the balance around the character rather than Genji himself. Like the only real change that Genji needs is just the deflect reversion. That's it. Genji's fine. If anything, you can nerf his ammo back to 24 and instead give him a ammo regen per dash, like 3 per dash. Because 30 ammo is a little bit too much for poking. This change doesn't do all that much. In terms of like when you actually engage, you still have the same ammo when you engage, you just have less poking potential. Yeah. Blade is not really gonna get changes because of Nano Blade breakpoints in the past. Right now it has breakpoints of Nano Blade that are gonna be either you have to commit a major perk to it, or you don't one-shot, you two-shot, which is still basically the same in terms of power, but it feels much fairer to go against, right? So I don't really expect Blade to get changes. Blade is in a spot where it is as strong as it should be. It's just not as fun as it used to be in the past. And I think that's a good thing, because in the past, Blade was kind of like Roadhog Hook, in that it's fun for the Genji player, not fun for anyone else involved in the lobby. Some stuff that is fun is not justifiable. If you know about the paradox of tolerance, right? Where if you tolerate people being intolerant, suddenly you're gonna have a society that's ruled by intolerant people. And then basically nothing will be tolerated anymore. Because those people will rule, and then they'll just decide whatever goes, right? And then they'll, like, don't really have to go into a political hole here, but like Nazis is kind of that thing, right? So like, you need some level of intolerance to have a tolerant society, essentially. And in Overwatch terms, you need to not allow characters like Roadhog to have fun because they can one-shot with Hook, if it means that every single other person in the lobby doesn't have fun because Roadhog is not a real tank and Roadhog one-shots the enemy team. You know? That's how basically the paradox of tolerance applies here. So I am perfectly fine with Genji's Blade state, and I don't really see how they could change it. If anything, I think right now is a good trade-off where if you want, you can commit a major perk pick to getting that fun back if you want. And it will feel fair on the receiving end. Yeah? What am I doing on EU? Better times for me to play. Much earlier in the day. That's it. Pull out faster, skill issue. Just pull the blade in a safe place. Genji players are stupid, and I'll die on that hill. I've coached Genji players for years, and honestly, Genji players are one of the dumbest of all the mains. And I don't say that in like a, because I'm trying to insult you specifically, or just the community in general. It's just that there's this level of entitlement, as if like, oh, this character is supposed to be really difficult, so we should always be top of the food chain. Like, kind of, but also, your character being high skill does not excuse bad play and suddenly make it good. If you pull Blade in front of 4 people, you should die. And too many Genji players think that because Genji is high skill, the character should be allowed to pop Blade and essentially have like a 2000 HP bubble envelop them during the Blade pull because the character is hard. Like, what? Like, that's the kind of behavior that people sometimes have around Genji, and that's what really annoys me, you know? If you pull Blade badly, you should die for it. Simple as. There are very easy ways for you to just stay safe during Blade pull. You dash up into the air. You pull Blade behind cover, right? Just do it. What do Vendettas do during their ult? Do they just ult in front of 5 people, or do they go into the sky or hide behind the wall while they're charging up and only then peek, right? I'm trying to think if there was a recent match that I played that can showcase this. I think this one.
Ready
Like,
for battle.
I almost wish that pulling out Blade literally just wrote a text on your screen, stunned, that Genji players get more direct feedback on how bad Blade pull is, so that they properly respect it. Players not punishing Blade pull either because Genji is often pocketed by Nano or Bubble or whatever, or because players will sometimes just miss the Genji, makes them go on a power trip where they just feed their brains out.
I've got
I haven't done the patron stuff yet. I've just basically stopped doing the workshops and offered people refunds for the months that I wasn't doing the workshop, and basically most people have left the workshop at this point, or the patron. But basically I'm just turning patron into a pure support thing where you don't do it because you want to watch workshops, I'll do the workshops for free, and people just pay for it if they want to support me as a creator. It's just simpler that way, because then I don't have to market, I don't have to feel bad about it, because I never really liked paywalling the workshops. I'm not good at the marketing part of things. Just simpler that way. Safe blade pull. Behind walls. With verticality. Look at this one. Pulling blade, sure, with lifesteal on a BEP that was distracted and literally the only person that can see me. What's this ult? Also relatively safe. Wasn't really being looked at during this blade pull. I did accidentally fall, but I did want to be safe. I didn't want to take a billion damage. So in a way, falling here is actually good, right? Like fall here, nobody can see me because of the cover. Pull out blade, climb blade the Winston. Nobody is really looking at me. I took 30 damage because of turret auto aim. 5 blades this game. Every single one of them was safe. Even if the blades, like in this case, were fairly ballsy in that I went in and killed 3 people. Right? Stop being good at the game. I'm gonna publish this. This was a crazy VOD. I went 31-5. And even then I just barely won this match. Yeah. 31-5 and even then I just barely won this match. Which is crazy. But yeah, this is a very good match. On Havana of all things, my tank is being outdamaged by 2 flank DPS on freaking Havana. I had to put in overtime for this, but yeah. The blade argument is just that Genji players are entitled. And I need to stop justifying their bad plays by, oh, character hard, right? Yes, character hard. Make bad play, get punished. Simple as. Genji is one of the characters that you have the least reason to victimize yourself on, because Genji is a character that has options. If you're playing Ana into D.Va and you complain that you get one shot with 0 counterplay, you have that right. Fuck D.Va, nerf D.Va. The Ana player had basically 0 counterplay. Because D.Va can stage as however she wants because she's a tank with infinite HP that never dies. Right? Genji? Winston jumps on you? Oh, poor thing. You have wall climb, you have dash. You have 150 heals from mini health packs. Oh, you have to deal with CC like Hinder Nade and Sleep Dart. You have deflect. You can go anywhere you want on the map. You have both a long range and a close range tool. You have a really broken ultimate. You have tools. I really hate Genji players victimizing themselves. And I say that even though I also play Genji, and not just that, I play Genji on 200 MS. I'm not even playing Yane very much anymore, I'm playing EU. Most matches I play are on 210. And I'm not complaining. I have rights to complain. I did not choose to be born on a place that does not offer me the same access to competitive play as others. And I still don't complain because it's pointless. I just need to get better. If I'm gonna compete at this level, I'm just gonna get better. Don't cry about Genji Blade being bad and needing to have a faster pull when you can just hide during that 1 second. I know pro players use Genji on Havana, but I don't think they would in this current state. And also, I don't think that Genji is one of the best usually on Havana. Genji is better than people think on Havana, but other flex DPS can very much just also be played there. Like Pharah can be good depending on the situation. Genji is also not something that pros will always run on Havana. So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, all the Genji mains were buffing him only. That's one of the things. I coach Genji. I make a ton of content on Genji. I hate the Genji community. I also love the Genji community, but I hate the Genji community. I hate the side of the Genji community that is entitled. I hate the side of the Genji community that is whiny. Can we all just play the cool cyber ninja and have fun? And better ourselves? What did Genji do in the face of adversity? When he got destroyed? Let's look at the black white skin, shall we? What happened to Genji? Was this fair? Genji being butchered? Talking about lore here, right? Like, at the age especially, like, is it fair for a human to have to go through the stuff that he did? No. But does that mean that he should just give up and cry about it? Also no. He just worked on himself and improved himself. And then he found peace with his body. And he became a better person. Right? Aaron, I wouldn't do so anyway. Alright, I wouldn't coach anyone every 2 weeks because that's too short between coaching sessions. But also, it all depends on the money, right? Like, if you can pay for the coaching sessions on the like the periodicity that I allow, which is not a firm rule, but probably once every month at the bare minimum, right? Of like time between them, then yeah, I would. Think you'll ever use Crimson Wolf? Yes. I just don't have enough points yet. Yeah. Zen was a huge help. I don't mean, I'm not trying to say that like he did it alone, right? Acha. Genji should not be currently at the state that he is in GM Champ. But also don't make such a big thing about it either. A lot of Genji players are acting like it's the end of the world. Even when they aren't in GM Champ. Like they'll be playing in ranks where Genji is one of the best DPS, period. And then they'll be acting as if he's the worst. Like what? No guys, the world is not ending because Genji has a 52% win rate in bronze. You know? And I'm saying that because people will somehow think that he has a 40% win rate in bronze, which makes it even funnier, you know? Let's clip and upload this rant. It's public. It's available on the live tab. As for like if I could take segments from the stream and turn into videos, yes. The problem is always just like condensing it and packaging right, like figuring out the title and the thumbnail and whatnot. So there's always that. There's always more content to make than time to make it. Constant coaching is pointless? Disagree. Pro teams have it. Just has to be done correctly. Right periodicity for VOD reviews. Right intensity for it. The player that needs to have the right mindset, right? Needs to be receptive to the feedback, etc. Yes, Nautilus. This is how it works, not just for Genji. It works for everything in life. It's just propaganda. It's just someone that you respect or listen to that states an opinion that you vaguely agree with, and you suddenly also have that and start spreading that on your own, right? It's incredibly common. Have I seen them? Not really. I don't really care. If it's old stuff, then maybe, but like Greedy I have blocked from my channel the first time that I saw a comment on one of my videos. So I don't have to do that again, which is nice. And Abby watches Spylo a lot and seems to be to have fair takes. The video they made a long time ago on like the state of Genji and the whole having to hit 3 shurikens thing was kind of silly, but they're much better. They probably were not arguing in bad faith, and I could if they have opinions and stuff, or they would like to discuss stuff with me, like I would probably be fine with that. Playing ranked to stream? I don't know. Greedy is a rage baiter. Just don't give attention. Very simple. Yeah. And what's the problem with Oblivion? Aren't you signing up for it when you play this character? What do you gain for it? You're playing a harder character, but a character that has a higher ceiling. So if you do execute Genji to a high level, what can your opponents do? I played Genji so well in that Havana match that even my opponent's counter swapping didn't do anything. I just destroyed the team that badly. Not many characters can do that. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off for the fun, it's a trade-off for the potential that you get, etc. Sure, it is frustrating at times, but it is something that you're just signing yourself up to. You don't have to one-trick Genji. You can just play Genji only when your opponent are playing Ana Zen. That's completely fine, right? You don't have to play Overwatch if you don't enjoy it. But people act as if you're being held at gunpoint and forced to play Genji into Winston, Mora, Sim, May, I don't know, you know? Like, you aren't. Just go do something else. Heck, if you want a game recommendation, play Slay the Spire. Probably one of the best games of the year. Probably one of the best games of the decade. I'm gonna make a lot of content on that game. Lots of guides, lots of runs, etc. If you are not enjoying Overwatch but you enjoy me as a creator, just go there. We're gonna start that stuff soon.
Minor perk unlocked.
I think it's important that even if you like enjoy someone because they're crazy or whatnot, they're funny, it's important to be aware of like the danger, because anything that you are surrounding yourself with for a long period of time will inevitably have parts of it be incorporated. So for example, you could have a really toxic family and hate it, and despite that you will still pick up habits that you hate from them, right? And do that to others. It's just part of the human. Like it's just human nature, right? I don't think that's exactly why a lot of people that have been bullied become bullies, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason. The devs have not done that for Genji. People have been interpreting that themselves and getting mad at their own thoughts. And there is no solution to that stupidity. If you want to believe that Overwatch devs have a vendetta against Genji players, then you're free to do so. I'll not try to help you at that point. You're just beyond saving.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Yeah, Necros is annoying. I stopped watching Necros long time ago when I noticed that I was starting to pick up on a lot of the mannerisms and the complaining and whatnot. And I became a much happier player that way. Don't surround yourself with what you don't want to become. Do surround yourself with what you do want to become. Right? I've for a long time have played Overwatch with the chats muted. I just do this /age, right? I just hide the chat. I don't join voice chat, and it's such a better experience. It's much calmer. I get to focus on my own gameplay much better, right? So I get to play better, I get to have more fun, and then I don't suddenly start saying words that shouldn't be said because other players say them. Like there's a lot of stuff, right? Like the PDF, right? Overwatch players have really taken a liking to this word, and it's really, really scary to see because people are basically normalizing something that is not normal as an insult. Like, if people in your circle are saying that type of stuff, you should either find yourself a new circle or you should address it, and fast. Because otherwise you are also gonna start doing that type of stuff because you're gonna pick up that habit and you're gonna have it normalized in your own behavior. Yeah. All of these habits of like hit scan players when they get dove by a Winston, saying that, oh, they're touching me, or stuff like that, or oh no, the Mercy player that's doing the hit scan, oh no, that guy's a pred scan. Like, for the love of God, Overwatch community, shut the fuck up and treat these topics seriously. You know? Like, holy heck, how childish can you be? A large portion of the Overwatch player base is not children, it's adults. A lot of people have been playing since they were teens, sure, but Overwatch has been out for like a decade now. More than that. And people still have these behaviors and think it's normal? Holy shit, grow the fuck up, you know? Like, it's fucking embarrassing to see that part of the community.
My enemies topple.
Okay. I have been forcing myself to keep talking for like an hour longer than I should already be. So my vocal cords are destroyed. But let's do a little bit more. Kovacs, hello. Yes. Wanted to quickly show this. Oh yeah, I don't know why I have this open. What? I don't know how my performance wasn't tanking, but I guess I wasn't playing. Yeah. This is the stuff I have been doing. Okay. It's very, very hard, by the way. Like, look at the size of this orb and the movements it makes. Right? This is really good fundamental practice. Also, I'm sorry for all the frame drops. I really have no control over it. But yeah, like, this is a type of practice, right? Like, this scenario, I don't remember exactly what this isolates, like, these are fairly long strafes that have, like, really small targets, so there's a lot of stability, a lot of speed matching. So, this is, a very difficult scenario, but it translates into a lot of, like, you learn a lot about mouse control and certain techniques. I've been planning to, like, get a camera that I have just, like, overseeing my glass pad so I can observe my own hand movements and essentially literally just VOD my own hand movements. to learn more about what I'm aiming, how I'm aiming right and how I'm aiming wrong. I've done a lot of swearing in the past. I prefer not to. I tend not to, but it's not like I have never done swearing. But yeah. I just prefer not to abuse it, essentially. But yeah, this scenario is really difficult. It's one of the things I've been doing. There's a bunch of different scenarios that you can do to just like practice different skills. And heck, you can even change your sense to target different muscles. But I think that one of the biggest things, and I'm gonna make a whole video on Kovacs and talking about this, but Kovacs is a really good mentality test because it's just you, the game, and your score. Just 1 minute of focus, aiming at a dot or a few dots. That's all it is. It is basically distilling a challenge to the simplest possible thing possible. Possible thing possible, great. And so managing to like testing your ability to just focus on the challenge, not even being able to do it, just testing your ability to focus for 60 seconds at a time, testing your ability to play the scenario a few times every day, every few days a week, right? Testing your consistency, right? Testing your mentality in the face of good scores, bad scores, etc. There are a lot of mental challenges, mental tests in Kovacs that if you pass, you not just learn how to play Kovacs well, you learn how to be a better person, period. These are very important skills in general. Like dealing with adversity, not getting too high on your success, being able to put your mind to things and consistently go at them and see the improvement, etc. A lot of I've played Kovacs for like 100 and something hours at this point, but this time when I've come back to it with these specific challenges that this player, right, Harms, the hit scan for the team that I'm playing on, gave me to do, this time it has been a lot different, and I've seen like by far the best improvement ever, because I've put myself at such a crazy good mental state during them, because I've been allocating time every day for it. I've been putting some music that puts me in the right mood. I have been taking good breaks between, so I do like a few minutes. I just run through the scenario a few times, then I take a break, so I don't get like I'm not focusing for 20 minutes at a time, just like 5 minutes break, 5 minutes, etc. I've been using a lot of different techniques essentially to just keep my mind calm, focused, and doing it as best as I can, and the results have been insane. It's been not only incredibly enjoyable, and it's funny to say that about literally just tracking an orb or shooting at an orb or whatever for hours on end, but it is true, because essentially like the mental connection that I've been having with my body and like the meditative effects of this have been insane. It has just been so gratifying, essentially. It's really, really cool stuff, honestly. Like, I just feel like I'm learning so much about myself and improving as a person. Yeah, let me quickly finish this. Not too terrible of a score considering my hands are cold right now. But yeah. one thing, and probably the biggest thing here to mention that I forgot is that one of the biggest issues that people will have with Kovacs, or just challenges in general, is that they will not be able to stand the time at which they suck at a thing. So you're trying to learn how to aim, but you cannot even play this for 5 minutes or finish a 1 minute run because you're failing to meet your expectations for your skill on a task, so you can't even practice. And it's very easy to notice at that point how you're never going to be able to improve at it if you can't even practice. If you don't practice, you don't get good. And if you are practicing, that means that you're not good enough. So you need to be able to basically suck it up, right? Accept that you're gonna be bad at a thing for a bit, to then become good at it. Once you accept that, once you allow yourself to be bad at a thing for a bit, to get enough practice, right? To be good at it, that's when you will start seeing the results. It's like if someone went to the gym twice in a week and then canceled their membership because they're not suddenly jacked. No, bro, it's gonna take you years. That's the whole point. You're gonna be weak for a while. You have to accept that. You have to suck it up. Work for no results for a while until finally there's payoff. And it snowballs on itself. Because once you get that reward, oh, it's rewarding. And you're gonna get more reward in the future. And it's gonna also be easier because you're now more experienced on setting yourself the right level of challenge. And there's less that you need for the next level of, because you're already at not level 0. Going from level 0 to level 1 is the hardest. Going from level 1 to level 2 and level 2 to level 3, it's slowly but surely easier, right? I have no idea for reaction time, honestly. Probably easier for you to just search up and find someone that is sounds trustworthy on the matter. But in terms of like reaction time, one thing I can say, where's the scenario? This one right here is interesting. You're gonna look at how fast it is, right? I'm surprised I'm tracking it this well right now, by the way. Because I have had 0 warm-up, and I also turned on the AC for a bit, so my hands are really cold. But this is a really fast orb, right? Do you guys think you could track this? Also, this is another thing about Kovacs. If you don't believe you can do it, you won't do it. You need to be able to believe it. I'm not really the person to ask for like Kovacs recommendations. Like, I know how to play myself, but I don't really know how I would coach people on using Kovacs. But yeah, this orb right here. How fast did it look to you guys? Assuming there is going to be a little bit of a delay between me asking people answering, since there have been so many frame drops. So I'm going to keep playing for a bit. This has been a terrible run. My objective here isn't to warm up to get good runs. So I am tempted to just cancel and not have a stain in my record here. But hey, it's funny. Even then, it still wasn't that bad. It's better than the ones that I had previously, apparently. Each streamer has a bigger delay. Huh, interesting. But yeah, how fast does this orb look to you? I'm not gonna move my mouse, which makes it easier to notice the speed because I'm not tracking it to make it look faster or slower. How fast does this orb look to you guys? Does it look too fast to track? Just the first one, not the second one. I forgot to pause. I love seeing the viewer drop off. Part of it I would assume is a little bit because of the frame drops, but also just swapping games immediately just thanks you to like the very loyal ones. I don't blame the people that are just here for Overwatch. But this is also Overwatch stuff, so it's a shame that those people left because they would be learning a lot about how to get good at Overwatch by hearing me talk about Kovacs. Send that message to me in Discord, Madhari, and I'm not gonna get to it now. Very fast? Yes. It is very fast. Very, very difficult scenario. But what's interesting is that depending on how warmed up I am, depending on my mental state, this orb is either faster or slower. The more I'm into the activity, the slower this orb moves. The moment that I got the high score on the scenario, I guess I can't show it easily, but this is the score for diamonds, right? Which was the current goal that I had. I'm now gonna push for jade. But the moment that I got this, the orbs were moving incredibly slow. It was so interesting. I was so locked in that my mouse movement just felt effortless. The orbs just felt incredibly easy for my eyes to track, for my hand to just move around and track, right? All because of how much my brain was engaged. Which I find to be so interesting. And all of these mental aspects go into these very physical tasks, and not many people talk about it. This applies in real life sports just as much as it does in esports, although esports probably applies a little bit more because it's less physical. But these are so important for your performance and nobody talks about them. You know? Like, just being able to suck it up and play it while you're bad. Believing that you can do it. Warming yourself up to the speed. Getting good enough to actually track this fast orb. Then getting into the right mindset to get a PB. Accepting that not every run is gonna have the potential to PB. And then finally, once everything clicks together, boom, there you go, you hit it. It's a combination of a lot of effort, a lot of setup, that is so incredibly rewarding once you put together. Yeah, game swap. When I was when I initially started, I didn't even have a score. I climbed from no score to plat and then from plat to diamond on 6 difficult scenarios for in like a week. I'm pretty sure that is ridiculous progress, but that's because I went into it with the perfect training regimen essentially for 30 to 60 minutes at a time for each scenario. And I crushed it, and damn did it feel good. It is difficult, yes. It is difficult for you yourself to get used to these things. And that's part of the barrier to entry on these things. Because people will doubt whether or not it's worth the effort because the effort is so, or because the result is delayed. People are so used to instant gratification that actually being bad at that thing for a month so that you can finally be good to the point where you want it to be. And that's also already fairly short amount of time, by the way. Just 1 month to get good at a thing is already way too much for most people. A lot of people take decades of practice to truly master whatever they want to do. If you can't put up with like a a single day worth of practice. What are you doing? You know? So I think that there are very important mental aspects that people should explore to truly be able to actually push themselves to the levels they want. If I had not gone back into Kovacs and challenged myself on these scenarios, I don't think I would be able to eventually, let's say, climb to expert division, master's division, or even maybe over at CS. I don't know if I have the interest in going that far, but I know that if I hadn't to learn these things and put myself through these challenges and seen the results of them after all of it, I would never have the tools to even attempt them, you know? And if at the end of the day you end up trying this and you fail for whatever reason, that's also important knowledge. Maybe you're not as competitively minded, right? Or maybe you just have like a very major difficulty focusing or whatnot that you need to address with something more specific or whatever it may be, right? Even if the experience doesn't end up being exactly what you expect, that's not always a bad thing. Heck, a lot of the most memorable moments in our lives end up being bad moments, right? Freedom has a lot about that, about all the misadventures that like you end up wasting a bunch of time and the reward is terrible, but you have the memories of the journey, right? All of the lessons learned along the way. But yeah, I really should stop talking by now. I have been really feeling bad during this whole talk. So, I'm sorry, future me. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Wanted to chat for a bit because I haven't done so in a while. And yeah, we'll see how things go from here. Bye bye.